We're on. This is Angora Poets, Paris, New York, San Francisco, and who knows elsewhere. On this May, what is it, May 26th, I think it is, a sunny Sunday evening in Paris, and a very hot afternoon in New York, and the weather seems to be fair in San Francisco. So Kansas City remains Kansas City. And I would like to begin this reading with someone who has not read with Angora Poets yet, but is known by us through the larger circuit in New York City. So I would like to introduce Steve Bloom, please. Steve, you're on.
Okay, thank you, Mo. Name a cloud after me. You know, one of those clouds which grows from nothing on a late summer afternoon, soon pummels the ground below with rain, hoping, even if in vain, to spawn its tornado, leave thereby some lasting mark upon the earth before vanishing forever into a nighttime sky. For among those who measure themselves on the time scale of clouds, most producing no more than a cooling breeze, do not squeeze out even a single drop of rain. Such a storm must be the great one, long to be admired and remembered, which is why, as I attempt to pummel the earth, spawn a tornado which may leave some lasting mark, this appeal goes out to any one of you who measure yourselves on the time scale of humanity. If, by chance, you have felt the attempt of my lightning, pay me this small tribute on some summer afternoon while watching a thunderhead create itself out of nothing. Name it after me, even if, for all the others, I may produce nothing more than a gentle breeze felt on its appointed day before vanishing forever into a nighttime sky. This one, thank you.
Hey, good opener, Steve. Good opener.
This
Okay, number
one
two,
is,
please. Yeah.
this one is kind of my response to some of the discussion we had before we started about Palestine. It's called New Year, Gaza, 2008, 2009. Call out the names of the dead so that we may mourn. Call out the names of the dead. Call out the names of their killers so that we may rage as we mourn. Call out the names of their killers. Call out the names of those who march in protest so we may give thanks as we rage and mourn. Call out the names of those who march in protest. Call out the names peace, justice, freedom, Palestine, so we may hope as we give thanks, rage, and mourn. Call out the names peace, justice, freedom, Palestine. And when the time has come to call out the names of all those who remain silent as we are calling out these names, let us pray that yours will not be among them. Another question for you to ponder. Suppose I told you that future generations will judge your civilization not by the wealth you accumulated, not by the wars you won, not even by the technological marvels that you created. They will not take account of your art, of your music, or of the great buildings that you have constructed. Suppose I told you that future generations will judge your civilization instead by the human beings you threw away. Walk the streets of this city. It's one place to count them. Well, some of them anyway, with their signs that say hungry, homeless, or just their vacant stares? What if I told you that future generations will judge your civilization by the human beings you threw away? What would you do then?
Hmm.
Thank
Let's
you.
see. Am I
Hmm.
okay? Yeah, thank you. It was a good introductory night to join us, Steve. Thank you very much. All right. So, how about we go next? We break this up a little bit and bring on another Brooklynite, Patricia Kerrigan. Hello, Patricia.
Hello, how you doing? Okay, this is a recent poem. First, they pull the plug to your computer, snatch the pen from your hand, tear the letter you intend to write, burn your history to the ground. Then they post labels on you. Then they post labels on you, post tape on your mouth. Make sure you can't pass from one point to another until they want what you have, come knocking on your door. Give less than 3 minutes for you to disappear.
Ooh, wow. Okay. Was that about the dumb question? Was that about evictions?
Yes,
Yeah.
it could be. It doesn't say, but it touches other.
Yeah. Okay. When they said 3 minutes to get out the door, Okay.
Yeah.
Or settlers. That's been going on
Yes.
over there too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hi, we're here. We're moving into this house. Woof. Okay. Next, Patricia. Number 2, please.
Okay, I'm gonna read from my book here. This happened to me when I was a child in my anger management out here. Mr. Lipson, you were a stone thrower, paint tosser, slasher, arsonist. You weren't Matisse, Van Gogh, Rembrandt, Da Vinci, or any great artist. You were a cantankerous old fart, a painter of happy trees against mediocre landscapes. You defaced 2 pieces of my artwork in Aunt Celia's and Uncle Henry's Stuyvesant Town living room, as my parents sat without intervening. The pen and ink boat capsized under fault finding. My lack of perspective, my lack of experience, lighthouse will be saved. Your words deliberately smashed the day-glow pink bottle, rotting the cheery flowers and fruit in and around the ceramic bowl. Two-dimensional and amateurish. Even the bowl cracked under pressure. Not one word of encouragement for an artist struggling with pimples and self-worth. An artist simultaneously disappearing from her craft. The pictures were intended for Aunt Celia. She left space for them to hang on the family art wall. But instead, they went into her closet. A few years later, Aunt Celia handed them back to me. She said that they wouldn't fit in with her collection, but I saw that she made room for others. I didn't argue. Instead, I became a stone thrower, paint tosser, slasher, arsonist. I could never be Matisse, Van Gogh, Rembrandt, Da Vinci, or any great artist. Nor could I become a cantankerous old bag, a painter of happy trees against mediocre landscapes. Remnants of the pen and ink boat and lighthouse and the day glow still life were unceremoniously donated to the Museum of Garbage. Years later, I became a writer and poet, but I'm not Dickinson, Kerouac, Basho, Woolf, or any great writer or poet, but someone who writes without paint or ink, wondering what would have happened if Mr. Lipson read my work.
All right. Wow. Patricia, did your Aunt Cecilia and your relatives, and of course, did they get to see your published work as a poet?
No, they're dead.
Oh, so okay.
Everybody's dead.
Everybody's dead. All right. Well, all right. Yeah. Okay. Well, give us three's a charm.
I'll give you a very short one here.
All right. Your call.
The four-dimensional man. The four-dimensional man contains four ideas, four times its squared root. The four-dimensional cat contains more ideas, but she's not telling.
Holy Harry Houdini. Okay. That was
This is
cool.
before I knew about the fifth dimension.
Yeah, right. Yeah, well,
2017, I didn't know.
my spiritual dimension rests somewhere between Dalai Lama and Dolly Parton. So I'm out there somewhere. Okay.
That's a poem. That's a poem. I love that title.
It's a confession. All right. Well, let me confess. Let's move over now and listen to who we affectionately call the judge and introduce from downtown Paris here by way of one-time New Jersey, Bill Strangmeyer. Bill.
Thanks, Mo. Okay, this is called Faith. By the age of 6, I was strange because I believed in a children's right and wrong. I couldn't understand God's absence, had no humor, couldn't dance, and felt betrayed, and thought my anger could control, at least avenge, the ill-sung gray bard song that all the vengeful two-big rodents whispered, all the hunters in the schoolyard bayed. And they, like monkeys, chattered, winked, and imitated pairs of fucking dogs. The knights in armor, soldier boys, and horses, fair and dopey brave, were what the static voices, flickering shows spun out on bloody cogs of money-grinding wheels, were all the wide world loved and gave me. But poorer kids had other lives and lived in gangs, not under parents' yoke. They didn't like me, and I lost and won some sidewalk and some schoolyard fights, but always thought that every one was run by orphanaceous anger, not by jokes on all the churchly standards, mealy-mouthing appetites for ancient flicker lights. The anger felt like money. The more you had, the more your cause was just, or more like justified, and you had a better chance of hurting than of being hurt. But nearly naked, I was angry all the time, not knowing why, as wise as dust, and hated mother-dressing shame and buttoned collar in my good boy silly shirt. Believe in church, believe in rules, believe the teacher's snide remarks, and know that pleasure drags us up above the station God has made for us to keep light glowing for the good ones preachers love, with smiles all starched and stark, until the light of day breaks in and we forget the labyrinth in which we're saved. And at the age of booze and dope, I found a faith in jungle riot, reigning sex and joy, replacing all the half-truths, lies, fantastic, poorly written myths, and bullshit rules that every scum factotum fascist thought up from his faggot solitude for captive boys strapped tightly into pass and fail, and beatings carved in flesh in static schools. And love, we all cried, love, as if such things as caring for the lames and straights could draw against the solidarity of higher feeling or the druggy blankness of the hard. But there was, I swear, clear hope and fellow feeling too for peace and tempting fates, and how our good would cast out war and race and bring the changing of the fucking guard. The rift was there already in the bloom, and from the seed of protest and the rage. For who were they, those models running all their tactics round our semicircular canals? Tough guys and cops from an earlier world, the bastards seeking war from out their cage. The ones who always won, the killers and the clowns, the righteous psychopaths, and so banal. We thought that we could change the world. We thought that we could change the world. We thought that world was ours to love, to hold against our hearts and stick our dicks in, mold and stroke, correct the lies and raise. But never did the noble hearts we put our trust in stand with honor against the money's shove. And we were transformed into us and them, reliving mankind's tragedy unto the end of days. The treason in our ranks was old as life on earth, betrayal of the world and too of life itself. That brings us to today, and now the life besmeared with slugs and worms grown fat. The liars we, and we anomalous and testers of the rules that we are dust and all is run by pelf, while fools like we were take our lives and draw a line from apes to angels and believe in that.
Okay. There's something to look forward to. Yeah. How screwed were we, Bill?
Very.
How screwed are we? Wow. Okay, number two, Bill.
Okay, let's see. This is called Milton. Some 50 years ago, when I was young and stupid, stupider than now, and painful with me and mine, and full of some church like some kind of kid, and the forced national optimism of the time, he said to me in his car after work and driving home, I don't know. I don't hold that much to life. Sometimes I think if an accident came, I don't know, that I'd do that much to avoid it. Living doesn't mean that much to me, but I think I'll probably die of a cancer. I was too young to understand or to sympathize, or, as with many things about him, as with a needless and trivial betrayal, but I took of him to build myself, took of him and grew from my refusal. Now that I've been betrayed and been tough too, seen a little more of life, what with one thing and another. And last night, lying beside a beautiful woman who loves me as I love her, I felt a little strange. Heart attack, stroke, indigestion more like. What exactly did I feel? And understood that unkind, hard, kind man a little better, and understood the ephemeral miracles, life and luck, which are not so important as a child's tears would have them in a slightly kinder way. I wonder, mistrust, worry. It's not too big a deal. It's not so long ago. It's dead and gone.
Okay. Ooh. All right. Let's join the Optimist Club. All right. um. Okay, Bill. Three's a charm, buddy.
Okay, this is a little more optimistic. I sometimes get a little silly that way. Ecclesiastes boxed. The pages turn, each page a box, and in that box, a smell, a basic shape, a code, a bumbling geist, a melody, an evil eye, a way to think of Christ, a devil, a little god of luck, and a number of clocks. What a surprise to come to the end of a page after years, after seconds, when we flinch or when we doze or look off or back. I thought the pain lame words would give would never go slack, and the laughter would keep me unetched, and I would always glide on the tears. A song comes back to raise the smell of that one time, a worry and a heart on another, a taste and regret a third. They kept their integrity some of these times, others meld. Each one coming back weakens my grasp, halts the crime I commit by forgetting or living my life as a book or a bird, and not the guardian of some love or country or hell where I'm held. Thank you.
Okay. Well, all right. Well, what you want to come back as a garden plant or a bird? What's your preference, Bill?
Prairie dog.
Prairie dog. Okay. Okay. Then you just have to worry about snakes and hawks.
Yeah, but I'd be living in a society with a language and a government, so it'd be okay.
All right. More will be revealed on that.
It's been revealed, Mo. It's been revealed.
Well, I don't know. Okay. I mean,
Prairie
I,
dogs have a language. Huh?
okay. Well, it's a little bit metaphorical for me. I think we have a government. Just turn on the bad news. They're still
Not as,
there.
not as good a government as they have.
Okay. All right. Well, all right. That wraps that up. Good. Well, thank you. Wow. Okay. So let's go next to David. And after David, Kareem. How's that? So, Dharma Dave, moving over to the West Coast.
Okay, so we were talking earlier about weather. So I think I'm going to read a poem out that's out of season for starters. Yuletide cheer. In the early gray morning light, the tail end of a year, reading a batch of poems from 10 years before. Then my mind was on sex, or lack of it. Now my mind is on money, or lack of it. The snow and water laden clouds of this big Yuletide storm swirl around outside the windows of my Nob Hill apartment, heading northwest, southeast. A fresh hot cup of espresso from some ultra impressive, taken for granted, newfangled machine on my kitchen table wakes me up. An early morning smoke smooths me out. When I read those poems, I wrote back then, I think of my circumstances back then and see them reflected in the work. The same is true of now, but the common thread is poetry, translating events like a verbal camera of unmechanical ultra-subjectivity, the emotional moments of an individual recorded through time. Good poetry is accessible to others, others who have lived, do live, and on planet Earth and beyond. Back at my apartment, the gray light has turned to blue-white. I hear streetcars rumbling up Clay Street, people moving around in the house. A loud plane goes by over the city, breaks my concentration. Back to consciousness, I strive to live the poet's life about a quarter of the time, or whenever I think about it. The rest of the time, I'm pretty confused, trying to find my true life's path through an ongoing series of compromises with all and everyone around me. But to stand in a hillside windowed room in the morning with a hot cup of thunderous caffeination in my grip and watch the cold Yuletide cheer outside rattle the windows, then I feel very keenly aware, secure in myself, ready to challenge the odds, ready to speak my mind poems, to utter my poems of emotional realities, risk boiling the blood of some who may hear them. Let nothing hinder the task of raising fun spirits as much as I can and encouraging goodwill and good cheer among every child, woman, and man.
Okay. All right. Okay.
So here's a shorter one. To make things grow on earth. As the mist clears and the thunder roars, the rain begins to pour. So the people close their doors. They hear the hammer hit the stone and see the lightning flash. They look up above in the clouds and see the figure of Thor. And up above, see the smith who forges the lightning for Thor. But it is only to make things grow on earth.
Okay. All right. All right.
Three's a charm.
Okay. Three's a charm. Three's a charm, David.
Another short one. Sailors sailing, a white light vision like sunlight twisting upon water falling and on moonbeams trailing and colored kites hailing and bailers bailing and mothers wailing and jailers jailing. Long lines of protesting fools from unmentionable numerous quizzical schools, up and away in a great cloud of smoke. They are sailors sailing. Now ain't that a joke?
Okay, all right.
Thank you.
Whoop, thank you. All right. So next we have our troubadour up, Kareem. Hello, troubadour Kareem.
Uh, Jack just sent me another translated poem by himself.
Uh-huh.
A poem from me, but translated by Jack.
Okay.
So I will read it in English first, and in French after.
All right.
So, to the orphaned, to the wee ones, to the strange, to the vile, to the indigent, to the impoverished, the sick, to the afflicted, to days that are best, to the audacity to believe, the mirrored heart, and the sometime joy in harmony with thought, then effect the most beautiful of smiles as its source.
Okay. All right.
So,
Good. And
in French,
we'll have to thank Jack in his absence, but okay.
yes, beautiful. Alors, aux orphelins, aux petiots, à l'étrange, aux villes, à l'indigent, aux pauvres, aux malades, à l'affligé, au jour meilleur, à l'audace de croire, le cœur miroir, et la joie parfois de s'entendre penser, puis agir, le plus beau des sourires pour Racine.
Okay. All right. Good. So you've got another poem translated now. That's good.
Yes, next week maybe Jack will translate another one.
Uh-huh. Okay. So do you have something to follow that from your, do you want to follow that with something?
Maybe a short song?
Sure, go ahead.
It's called With You. It's an island, but in French it has another meaning. It's like something else. Avec toi, c'est une île, et les vagues suggèrent un baiser. Avec toi, si fragile, je suis Achille, Hector ou Thésée. 4 ciels, les saisons, et plus qu'une lune, ouais, parce qu'il n'y en a qu'une. 4 vies, une maison, juste avec toi, 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 parce qu'il n'y a que toi, avec toi, c'est une île. Et je tangue, tangue, tangue sur ta langue, langue, langue. Je dépose un baiser. Et je tangue, tangue, tangue sur ta langue, langue, langue. Je dépose ce baiser sucré, salé, tout doux, ouais, dans le cou. Sucré, salé, tout doux, là dans le cou.
Okay. Thanks, Troubadour.
Thank you, Mr. Mo.
Okay, I like that. Sugar, salty, all is soft. Yeah. Salé, sucré, tout est doux. Well, I like oh, it's, all right. So, who we haven't heard from now is Jack Cooper. Are you there? Jack Cooper, are you there? Well, he's there. Doing something.
I'm here.
Oh, okay.
I gotta go so I can activate my camera.
Okay.
Oh, there I am.
There
Hi.
you are. All right.
Hello, everyone.
So you got your conversation in. Okay.
I did, yeah.
And you join us just in time to be the next poet.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. I not so well prepared here, so I'm gonna exit full screen. I would like to read a long poem,
Well, then you should.
relatively speaking.
I love that. Relatively speaking.
Yeah.
It's that famous last words.
It's called Starfish Dream,
Okay.
number 1276.
Oh,
Hold on. Just want to make sure I've got it all.
all right.
Pardon my ineptness here.
That's all right. Take a minute.
Okay.
You know.
I love the premise of the title, Jack. I'm really excited. Starfish Dream.
Yes, it's a monologue by a star. Okay, so here.
Did you write this, Jack?
What's that?
Did you write this piece coming up?
Did I write it?
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Good enough.
Okay. So, Starfish Dream, number 1276. Trouble humbles me, burden overwhelms, consequence outweighs. Plunged as an anchor, hit bottom lies. Keening high seas, feel ocean fathomless below. Sky, premise illimitable, disinhibited, unconstrained, absolved, penitent, redeemed, exculpated, an angel in flight, not merely escaped, dredged, hauled up, pulled out, ollie oxen fray, pried loose off some dressing room door, unnamed, backstage, but release entire, given how the wheel around fortunes goes, my own metaphor likely discarded. Pathway lost, tread feared, unsalvageable, motive, leitmotif, wrath, mislaid, submerged, I, recidivus, least ecstatic, static, stilled, still, still restrained, pinnacle mind, fixed vacancy, late enthroned above the transitory black and blue, denied restitution, gaze restored regard, this factitious exile outshines from mundane, purely meaningless, awed speculation. Morning glory, evening star, away, away, far removed, crass medium, fade days before, dismay, even now, further chagrin tomorrow. Dark wish to confound pentagonally, disingenuous, I am that fell like Lucifer, pitched from the height, abyss of expectation, galaxies hollow, none will fill. I yearn for relief, winter never ceasing. Join the year-long journey trees share in autumn. 5 points effluent, intention dwindles, come the tide gone out. Reprieve should allow credence, vow, accept whatever I have possible to give. Need separate, admonish, disdain, calm, distinction make, preference, exception, feasible, despair, thinking, compensate their difference, feeling count, a second chance, nowhere a world ends, another appears.
Thank you. That was nice. I it didn't seem so long to me, but yes,
Yeah,
very good.
yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, and it's I mean, it's a tricky piece because I wrote it in stanzas, each with 5 lines,
Mhm.
and 5 syllables to each line.
Okay.
So, you know, kind of uli po.
Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
All right. So are you up with your second piece?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, here's one that that I unearthed recently. It was for all intents and purposes, it has the title February 8th, 2014, which was the day apparently it was written. And it refers to a river in Connecticut, which is called the Housatonic. Along the Housatonic, amber glows. We slow, it more slowly flows. Meander of old, incised from gentle, ancient white. Occasional stone, rival rippling, perturbs resistance. Multitude gathers, choruses. Plain axes, trees, line the banks, stopped in time, endure their winter pause and wait. Wide turn, the river broadens into ice. How much has changed here since fluid maidens waded to their waists, bold youths chanced to stare, peering from the water's edge. Vanished all, displaced by solitary fishermen. Quarry keeps secret, and even snare, hook, hollow creel, fire of grill will not reveal. The fortunate knows, fortune never shares.
Is that true? That's provocative. Fortune never shares.
I know. You got to be there.
You know, if a freshman English lit student raised her hand and asked you to defend that statement, what might you say?
Yeah. Wait, hold on.
Okay.
I got,
What do you got there? What? Okay.
it's a claw.
Okay. Right. If fortune shared.
Your self-defense.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, let's hear it. Freeze the charm, Jack.
Oh my God. Okay.
Oh
All right.
my
So
God.
now, all right. Now you're testing me. Okay. Oh, I happen to have something else around here somewhere. Okay. This is just, it's on the, there it is. Okay, this is called Coming to Dream. It's another wintry poem. Trees in winter are remarkably brown here in Central Park. Colossal clouds move northwards, and their arms, gray-mantled, skim forward towards a goddess's embrace. Lies mortality down on the divan today. I stare out of the window like a cat. Close to our window, nearest trees are twistingly defined, black and gray. Every so often, a fluttering bird changes branches, leaving one to bob in its wake. A breeze, too, passes by, causing a whole treeful to waver. Otherwise, dark specks of perspective in a rendering of rain. The buildings on the east side, another wilderness in themselves, recreate blue. A band on the skyline behind a chorus of shapes. All things in winter aspire to smudges. Blue background, the gold on the ground, the brown trees, the blue background, the marshalling of clouds, and the blurred sky above them, in which we seek to disinter the flow from the drizzle of images squalling from before we were born. My eye, like a fist, lolls lazily at windows. The brushstroke I dab with, ideally at time. All things aspire to smudges. I feel this. Its beauty. Dream. Dreaming is believing. My eyes, on days such as this, we forestall a little the coming of spring, her first days, the dazed visions before sleeping, and our warm winter's night.
Okay, yes. Yes, very nice. Very nice now. Very nice, Jack. And good to catch you off guard.
Thank you. You definitely caught me off guard because, I almost stepped on that poem. So
Okay.
it was on the
I
floor.
especially liked the image of the trees and the effect of first the bird and then the wind and the consequence of those on the tree and that perspective will stay with me.
Thank you, Malcolm. Thank you. All right.
Good. And Jafari read your poem in translation, read his poem in your translation earlier.
And the translation.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes.
And it's a pleasure. I tell you, I didn't have time to work on it until yesterday and today. But I love his poems. Jafari, are you there? Monsieur Karim?
Yes, Mr. Jack.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
Okay. All right. More about that during the break. Well,
Jack, I did. You lured me in, so I cracked some poems open. I'd like to join.
Oh, well now. Do you have an insider's membership card?
I got my coffee. That's all.
Wait, hey Mo, I thought an outsider's membership card was
that I have.
Okay. Well then,
I got my outsider's membership card.
Yeah. All right. Well then, I guess we're just forced to concede to you and listen to you read some poems. All right, Malcolm.
All right, man.
You're on, baby.
Yeah, nice to see you, Malcolm.
Thanks, Jack.
Yeah. And hello to Steve Bloom, whom I've not laid eyes on in some time.
QP ruminations. Will search engine algorithms look askance at frenzied bursts suddenly of keywords bisque and celluloid and stranger words emanating from addresses traceable to this suburban Kansas town who's sadly known for the color line appearing in their covenants of incorporation? Or traceable to New York boroughs, 7-story pre-war buildings, historic brick garden apartments with gastronomic fare climatic, Salvadorian and Korean, not to mention, did I mention, Vietnamese, Chinese, and Thai? And Thai, accessible to Midtown bustle, just one jostle with the herds of F-train girls who still exist with big hair and chew their awful gum in public. And with boisterous migrant dishwashers and Midtown office building doormen, solemn Upper East Side wannabes who only get, alas, to take the Midtown transfer to the 6th, then shoot down to the markets where they dream and cream and yell into their phones all day, each day. Shall we chuckle over this precisely worded admonition from their Wikipedia entry? Cupies should not be confused with the baby-like Billiken figures that debuted in 1908, which I'm confused to my mind begs so many cues, but I suspect, am I right, that you've got many of your own? The range of costumes that adorned them, cowboy, rabbit, doctor, priest, flapper of the silver screen, soldier, harlot, hoodlum, which encapsulate our aspirations illuminate our human itch. Those little ogres learned our secrets. I can't believe they're really worth the fortune that changes hands these days. But I've said enough. It's a craze, like Bitcoin, Tulip, GameStop stock. There's naught to say. It's crazy talk. Are we agreed? Good. Next up, Smurfs.
All right.
So
Good
I
to hear
thought I
that one.
had to reestablish my credentials as an errant New Yorker with
Yeah.
dropping in a reference to F Train Girls and the cuisine of Queens,
Uh-huh.
where I had the
Well,
chance to live for a few years.
Oh, yeah. And also the change of the six.
And the change to the six.
Yeah.
Can you believe I lived in Queens and worked in New Jersey for 2 years and
yeah.
commuted through
Well,
Manhattan every day?
Yeah.
well,
What part of Queens did you live in? Because I used to live in Queens.
Jackson Heights, E train to 86th Street.
I lived in Astoria, the N train and also the R.
Uh-huh.
Also, 2 years I lived in Flushing. That was the number 7.
Patricia, is the L still elevated on the
I have no
NR?
idea. I don't know. I haven't been keeping up with it. I think they're still working. I don't know. I don't go to Williamsburg. I live in Bensonhurst.
Sure.
It's a little hard, especially on the lockdown and like around here, Gravesend, Bensonhurst, Bath Beach, Dyker Heights, Bay Ridge.
Yeah.
Well, the F train is always, comes out at what, Carroll Street.
Yeah, the D train is terrible.
Yeah.
The D train goes to Broadway Lafayette.
okay, you guys.
But
Okay.
speaking of,
We know the New York subway system is a
Write a
trip.
poem and
challenge.
bring it back. Write a poem about all the lines and bring
Yeah.
it back next week.
but do you know about the stop when you get off at Bleecker on the 6th? You can change to the IND.
You can change to the D train because sometimes I come from the west side and I just
That's a long kept secret that you eventually learn.
I know that secret since I
Yeah.
moved here 7 years ago.
All right. Well, I'd like to hear Malcolm's next poem.
Here it comes. Kareem, could you mute? I hear your chip bag or whatever it is.
Oh,
Thank you.
excuse me.
Thank you, my friend. The Father prays. Sandbox sand brushed from your morning sandbox skin, approaching home from Sandbox Park, you ride the stroller. Baby bag is dangling, spilling diapers, raisins, sippy cups, goldfish crackers, just enough. Shadows cast upon the Grand Victorian's craggy grand front stoop, anticipating our ascent, its snakes bask on its stony steps. In disrepaired late morning sun, they scuttle, writhe, and disappear into their craggy, stony cracks, their stony, snaky, craggy cracks. Sitting in his father's lap or laying on his rocking breast, at Tuesday morning's morning nap, a song is sung which etches deep, beating hearts held chest to chest leave whirls and traces in the forking, folding gray on gray. And the lazy city summer breeze brings wafts of hazy greeneries with Latin smells and Latin beats of cocoa bread with limbo patties, ginger beers, and curried goat. This touch of skin on skin may last, ordain their loves in later days. Songs, stories told, create a path, the realm, the scope, the come what mays, time and space converge, refract. The stream of sounds all correlate, half beat, whole beat, quarter, rest. The vowel pitch code we call solfege, repeating each melodic phrase, the rocking chair reverberates, produces feedback, standing waves, amplifies ion cascades, locks proteins in a solid phase, calibrates synaptic weights. As if banks shape the river's edge, the Father prays.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Wow, that's a lot to think about. Let me tell you, to connect all the dots, that's
Connect
a lot of
those
work.
dots.
Man, that's a lot of work to connect all them dots, brother. Okay, Malcolm, here we go. Three's a charm. You're on.
Some things I've counted. Just 2 steps up to reach the sink to coat my hand in soapy film. Then 2 flights down to sidewalk gray and wide. I came to play outside this 7-story pre-war with its doorman on Cathedral Drive, with Hudson views and cornices, gargoyles perched in corners, high above the span of green and white striped canvas there to keep us dry. I'd spin around the awning pole, each slippery turn I'd count and cry, and wait for father to arrive with briefcase and a taste for rye. Exactly once I'd blink my eyes with each crisp chew of radish, stole from Zandy's mother's kitchen, or as each toe touched a paved stone laid hexagonally to tessellate Abingdon Square's playgrounds, gray like skyscrapers in Midtown, say. Their stories seemed unbounded. Oh God, the vastness of it all. Your mother's back, your father's spine. Mother, may I take so many giant steps? No, but you may take umbrella steps, but just this much, no more, no less. The 59th Street Bridge's trusses flicker past the evening sun, obscure the river's working tugs as children sway and seatbelt free play ragdoll in the station wagon's back seat. Mom drives us to our Greenport country summer home with sailboat, beach, and Concord grapes. But the expressway's median strip, it pulses, yellow flashes rushing toward me much too fast to find a refuge in my private finger count of driver's sex. Or do we pass more cars than they pass us? The girders flit and flash and flit and flash outside, fantastic screeching, steel spark flying, dark paned glass. They brace the shaft the uptown train careens on through, while up above, due west of 7th Avenue, the Chelsea Hotel's lobby staff, its lovers, poets, lunatics, craft rhymes about the river Styx, protected from some dire collapse of sidewalk, tumbling perhaps into the chasm, mind the gap. Moving beads along a string, Tarzan seconds underwater. Asbestos ceilings, tiles hung, steps to PS 41. Old fence posts, pink jingle shells, spice jars on some pantry shelf, sweaty, frenzied pelvic thrusts, stones dropped into wooden cups, isoforms of RNA, loose joints rolled from measured ounce, Steve Reich's lulling violins, Philip Glass's choral sounds, Iam's, trochees, stanzas, feet, waves breaking, crashing at the beach. And of course, there's always sheep, and rocks it takes my son to sleep. With my quiet inner voice, I counted almost anything ever since I could. I could. Was it my choice? These numbers littered every corner of my mind, my time, my mind. I murmured them, intoned, caressed their ordered, soothing, rhythmic strain, none of which was knowledge gained. To know the sum is not the aim. Today, my father's abacus hangs inert on my bedroom wall. If I lose track, it matters not, for I can start to count again. Hopefully some more New York credentials in there.
Wow. That was a long ride you took to a lot of places. Okay.
Welcome
That was a
aboard.
big jump from the back of the family car to the Chelsea Hotel.
Yeah,
That was
All
a
took
poetic
place
trip.
between the Isle of Manhattan and Long Island, I think.
Okay.
yeah, Greenport.
Yeah, Greenport.
Okay. And I got to see the Chelsea a few months before it locked its doors. You know, the
What's
ghost.
happened to the Chelsea Hotel, Mo?
Well, it was sold and turned into some kind of a new kind of lodging. You know.
Yeah, it's apartments. It's going to be condominium apartments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Figures.
So going up the staircase and down the hallways and hearing about Jim Morrison and Leonard Cohen and Janis Joplin and everybody who stayed there.
Mhm.
It was you thought you were going through a ghost house. A reassuring ghost house. With all
There's a
those
very
every
good
room.
restaurant down there.
The Leonard Cohen song is beautiful about Chelsea Hotel.
Yes,
Yeah.
the Leonard Cohen song. Yeah.
Yeah, because he lived there for quite a bit.
Mhm.
I was.
Bye-bye. Gotta run.
You
Patty,
Bye,
leaving?
Patricia.
Bye-bye.
Where you go? Oh, well,
no, she's gone.
that's quick. Okay.
Maya is coming, Mo. She's looking
Okay.
for the...
Okay. She'll be welcome. I just wanted to say that somebody that told me the story that he was staying briefly at the Chelsea and that this guy sat in the corner every day dressed in black, didn't talk to anybody, and did a little scribbling. And then after a couple of days, the visitor friend of mine went up and said, "You want to share a coffee?" And the guy lifted his big hat, and it was Leonard Cohen, and he signed a CD to my friend and quietly said it was nice meeting you. So that was their brief encounter. Really nice, like that. No glitz, no glam, you know. Okay, so now we have Laura. Laura's here. Hi, Laura Greville. So now we're joining somebody from the UK. What is your town again, Laura?
Well, I live in Shepshed, which is sort of the middle of England.
Okay, okay. And we have Malcolm who lives in Kansas City, which is like the middle of England too.
The middle of New America.
Mhm. So you came on board better late than never because you would be the next poet we have not heard read yet,
Oh,
Laura.
me.
Yeah. So do you have some stuff for us?
Okay, I'm
Oh,
ready.
good.
Yes,
You know
I can
what?
do
3 poems first round. It's
three.
all over to you.
Okay, great. Let's see. So I'm going to start with something called Prison Business. And this is a certain form, and just now my mind loses what the name of the form is, but it has it's a certain poetic form. Business in that small Texas town, in that small Texas town. Okay, wait a minute, sorry. That version is not the latest version. Okay. Cakes fell when someone flicked a switch. Business in that small Texas town, when death row opened up a cell, when witnesses did pale and twitch. Where the siren screamed like a witch, cakes fell when someone flicked a switch. Where the mists in the swamps howled, when the women fought tooth for bitch. Where the men in stripes worked in hitch, where a prison wall ran in blood, cakes fell when someone flipped a switch. When a guard had done scratched his itch, down a terrible crusty ditch, where history threw a crooked pitch, where new graves were dug in secret, cakes fell when someone flicked a switch. So that was called the Hunt.
Laura, I believe that's Colonel.
Yes, thank you. So that was called the Huntsville units, and at one point I was with the Texas Auditor's Office, and we were auditing the prison system, and the main unit in East Texas, Huntsville. So that was a long ago experience.
Yeah, because you're from Texas.
Originally, yes.
Yeah. Huntsville, damn.
Yeah, Huntsville. Have you been to Huntsville? It's frightening.
No. I didn't go anywhere near Huntsville. No desire.
Well, the guards were more frightening than anyone else. Okay,
Can I ask, on behalf of whom were you auditing the prison system?
On behalf of the Texas Auditor's Office.
Financial auditing?
We did financial and management audits.
Interesting, thank you.
Yes, and I was at that time helping with the financial. They sent a team of 23 people over and we went and stayed during the week in a prisoner-built hotel that was run by Sam Houston State University or college. And it was very interesting because the industry of that town was the prison. And it wasn't just, there was a men's unit, and then there were women's units out of town. They were at that time doing some executions now and then. They did those at night and at 1 a.m. and because then fewer people would be there to protest the executions. And we had a tour of death row and the prison. I'll never forget it. You know, I tried later to write a detective story set there, and I did get about halfway through, but then something in my life occurred and I didn't finish it. But anyway, it was quite an experience. And East Texas, you know, is swampy, more like Louisiana, southern Louisiana. So it's a very different kind of environment, and it's kind of spooky, really. You know, it's different.
Okay. Well, let's hear your second poem.
Yes. Okay. The next one is called Paris, Texas, after the film Paris, Texas. And let me sorry, my eyes are not working well tonight, so I'll just try to pull it up here. This one is, yes, inspired by my life and watching the film Paris, Texas. Paris, Texas was further than we thought. Took us 3 days to travel there, through A-level exams in French and German, while the man walked across the desert, through the scrubbing of a bay window roof, while the child walked home from school alone. Through the failed opening of a bank account online, while the estranged mother waited to talk to her next trick. While the man lined up shoes in the sun, while the American desert spread out before us, while the pinks and greens of life throbbed, while our borders closed and a vigil was disturbed by police in riot gear, while two Black sisters were stabbed in Wembley Park, and I can't bear to say what the police did. Took us 3 days to travel to Paris, Texas. It was much further than we thought.
Okay. Wow.
Okay. And that, the politics mentioned in that are UK politics, with the borders closing and the police disturbing a vigil, which is actually referring to the one for the young woman killed by a police officer in London, and that the police came down on the women just for having a vigil. And then, anyway, and then 2 young women were stabbed at Wembley Park. Anyway, so there's some really weird, strange things going on right now in this country that are frightening.
Nonetheless, a very engaging exposition, Laura.
Pardon?
Beautiful and engaging exposition.
Well, thank you.
All.
Thank you.
All right, Laura. Thank you. And let's hear it. 3 is a charm.
Yes. Okay. The last one is called People Are Looking. They just keep killing Black men. These self-appointed vigilantes and cops killing men jogging down the street like Ahmaud Arbery, or men coming out of a shop like George Floyd. And the BLM started marching, and the Trump response sent an Armageddon of armored cops and henchmen to attack people who were not armored, who were protesting the murders of Black men. A Star Wars attack on regular people, and the protesters march wearing COVID masks, march those streets through smoke and tear gas, and the robotic cops bear down, brutalize, and my mind races to find the puzzle pieces because I seem to have missed something. 1968. I am 7. I walk into a church in East Austin with my mother, brother, sister. Moselle, who cleans our house and takes care of us kids, invited us to her daughter's wedding. And when we walk in and walk down the aisle and sit down, my heart begins to thud because people are looking, then not looking at us. We are the only white people there. 1988. I am 27. I walk into a church for the wedding of Sarah. She is a friend, a co-worker, a fellow accountant at the state auditor's office. And when I walk in and walk down the aisle and sit down, my heart begins to thud because something is similar, something is wrong. People are looking, then not looking at us. We are the only white people there. 2020. And my mind races to find the puzzle pieces as the despot's robot army marches on people who are protesting the murders of men, murders because of the color of their skin, an obscene scene of spleen sent by a president who is more mean than man, sending a smokescreen to make a show that is the only way he knows. And my heart thuds and my mind races to find the puzzle pieces. 1968, 1988, 2020. And I look back and ask, Sarah, where were the people from the office? Why did none of them come to your wedding? During work days, we all worked together. During lunches, we ate out together. During out-of-town audits, we traveled together. My God, Sarah, I remember back then I heard 1 or 2 excuses, busy, kids. But most had no kids. Most of our coworkers were single and white. Oh, Sarah, how blind have I been?
Ooh, good. Wow.
Thank you.
Pretty strong stuff coming out of the UK about homegrown American racism. Mm. Okay. All right. 3 is a charm, Laura. You're up for number 3 now. And when you're finished, I would like to invite Maya to introduce herself, say hello to us, and read for us when Laura is finished.
Yeah,
Hi, Maya, and hi, Claire. Hello.
Mo, that was my third one.
Was it?
Yeah.
Well, unlimited storage capacity. Okay.
It's all right.
All right.
It's
Well,
late.
thank you. Anyway, thank you very much. That was some good stuff. Thank you.
Thank you.
You'd think you were still back in the middle of East Texas, in the pine woods of East Texas. The clarity in those poems. You know? Yeah. And you're right. I've been to East Texas. I was in East Texas to look up a blues player, and there was a color line in Navasota, the small town, a color line in that town. And while he was touring the country as a legendary blues singer, Mance Lipscomb, when I went to Navasota to meet him, they like, go away, boy, go away, boy. He lived down there. He lived down there where them colored folks live, you know. And so it was that way in the late '70s, you know.
Oh man, Navasota was very close to Huntsville, where the prison unit was. And I have a friend. Well, he's passed away, but he lived with Mance Lipscomb for years and wrote a book about Mance. And he was a musician, Glenn Allen, and he wrote a book about Mance. And I think I have it in the other room anyway. But it's yes, and he was learning Mance's music and trying to record Mance's life and experiences. And yes, Glenn was a lovely person. And
Great. You see, when I was there, Mance, he lived in basically, a shack on cinder blocks and wooden panels. So while he was very famous on the Berkeley label, Key Holy, which made him, renewed his fame, in a young music listening public, which were mostly white people, you see. So there was a good thing there, right? And anyway, while all that was going on, he lived in his small house, with cinder block and wooden panels, and his wife and son. And he would have me drive him out of Navasota into the woods, which was very quick to do. And Mance would show me lynching trees. Mance would say in that deep drawl, East Texas, that tree there, boy, that's where Junior got hung. 1937. Now we pulled up in a cart and saw that boy get hung, and then show me another tree where somebody got lynched, and tell me all these stories, all these stories about, Saturday night the sheriff would get drunk and get all the boys together, and then all of a sudden become a Ku Klux Klan unit and drive through our end of town, threatening to burn houses down. Yeah, he told me that stuff. It was, and he didn't have anger or hatred. He just simply pointed it out as a factual occurrence, a very factual occurrence. So, okay. Well, thank you very much. Keeping Texas on our mind. Because, like the song goes, I got miles and miles of Texas. Yeah. Okay, great. So now let's introduce somebody that, as I mentioned, Maya here, she hosts a very popular poetry reading on Monday evenings in Paris, and it was on Zoom, but anyway, it's in Paris. And she's a poet and a rapper and a slammer. And so let's bring her on. Hello, Maya.
Yes, thanks. But hello, everybody. But I don't speak English very, very well. So
neither do we. That's why we're in this small group, you see.
Donc, je vais vous faire du français.
Voilà, parle en français, lire la poésie en français.
Ouais.
Bienvenue, welcome to the World Cafe. All languages are welcome. So is that what you wish to do then? Give us just a brief understanding of the poem, a brief, the thème,
Wow.
the mentalité.
C'est 3, hein?
Okay,
Okay.
three themes. Okay.
Okay, in English. Résumé en anglais, moi. Okay. It's about the life and how merde. Who knows how is the life making, comment la vie se fait,
Who
is the
knows
life
how life
making,
will?
and when we know that, what we do with that.
Okay.
Okay.
Who knows our future and how we shall act around it.
Yes,
All
but
right.
not future only, present life.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Okay. We're ready.
Yes. Qui sait de quoi la vie se fait? Et quand on le sait de sa vie, qu'est-ce qu'on en fait? Des fois, haute comme 3 pommes, sur mon cheval de bois à la gomme, je revendique le droit à l'erreur pour ces choix qu'on fait pour soi, le droit de se tromper, de trébucher parfois, le droit au brouillon, à l'effaceur. Les chemins de nos destinées ne sont pas toujours autoroutes. Sur nos sentiers enflammés, ne pas étouffer les doutes, les garder, les choyer petites braises comme un feu à couver qui pourrait bien une nuit nous réchauffer. Car qui sait de quoi la vie se fait? Et quand on sait de sa vie, qu'est-ce qu'on en fait? Moi, je la façonne de mots, de ponctuation, de points d'interrogation. Tout est peut-être dans la question. Il y en a des milliers sur les cailloux de nos vies posées, les saisir, les attraper. Moi, la vie, je la cisèle comme une fragile dentelle. Je la couds avec le fil qu'on ne me coupe pas sous le pied, avec la laine fine de mes amours, amitiés, avec la soie de mes insondables émois, avec toi, moi, nous, vous qui êtes là. Car qui sait de quoi la vie se fait? Et quand on sait de sa vie, qu'est-ce qu'on en fait? Dans les sombres songes, sa sainte sus s'écoule, plonge, je glisse sur la fange, absorbe, éponge, j'essuie ça d'un revers lent ou presque, sans jamais retourner ma veste. Je sors ma tête du bocal avec brio, à l'aise comme un poisson dans l'eau, espérant qu'il nous soit donné un peu de lumière, d'éther, miné et la terre de nos chairs. Fertile est notre corporel univers, riche est notre cœur de multiples prières. Notre esprit, au fil de l'eau, parfois a le mal de mer. Ça secoue, retourne les viscères. Regardez en arrière en allant de l'avant, en équilibre trébuchant, tranchant, vivant, enivrant, car qui sait de quoi la vie se fait? Et quand on le sait de sa vie, qu'est-ce qu'on en fait? Moi, ce que j'en sais, c'est que je saisis ces présents que j'ai déjà, que j'ai. Moi, ce que j'en sais, c'est que je saisis ces présents que déjà j'ai.
Ok. Ouais. Hey, très bien fait. Wow, that was very
Bon, nice.
superb. Superb. And the syncopation, the timing, superbe aussi. Hein.
Yes, thanks.
Ok, le deuxième.
Ouais, le deuxième. Number
La
2.
deuxième.
Non, ça va. 1, 2, 3, c'est OK, moi, quand même.
Come on, man. Allez, come on, sir.
Thanks, Mo, to help me.
Okay.
OK. It's about all of us and what we share together tonight and when we do some poetry.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Quand les temps sont obscurs, brouillard dans le futur, l'esprit sans envergure, cœur battant à la dure, je voudrais offrir repos pour nos âmes, que du beau, soigner le mal, les maux, calme comme un ruisseau. Je voudrais donner chaleur, loin jusqu'au bout du cœur, petite miette de bonheur pour apaiser les peurs. Je voudrais apporter la paix, éloigner les méfaits, léger comme un ricochet, rond doux comme un galet. Partager, plume au vent, chant de nos firmaments, et ensemble faire des vœux d'espérance et de feu. Quand le quotidien chagrin use nos plus beaux refrains, assombrissant demain de quotidien sans pain, je voudrais faire table rase, mettre fleurs dans un vase, plonger en mer turquoise, être un solo piano jazz. Je voudrais un diapason pour nos lignes d'horizon, nos points de suspension, nos araignées au plafond. Je voudrais vous mettre à l'aise, petit moment de fraise, juste compter jusqu'à 16, voler comme un trapèze. Partager, plume au vent, chant de nos firmaments, et ensemble faire des vœux d'espérance et de feu. Quand le monde secoue, pieds glissants dans la boue, et gratinure aux genoux, toutes les nuits corde au cou. Je voudrais être un refuge, aller doux comme une luge, mitrailler le grabuge, ne plus craindre le déluge. Je voudrais voir du joli, chanter pour l'infini, tout en catimini, planter des graines de vie. Je voudrais offrir une danse, une joyeuse tempérance, une folle cadence pour lever nos errances. Partager, plume au vent, chant de nos firmaments, et ensemble faire des vœux d'espérance et de feu, et ensemble faire des vœux d'espérance et de feu. And together do some wishes, hopeless and fire. C'est ça.
Go. That was inspiring. Okay. Well, now, Claire, we're ready for le troisième. 3 is the charm.
Ouais.
Le charme de le troisième poème. Ouais.
Ok. Le troisième, c'est un petit poème, a little poem. On dit poème ou poetry, on dit comment?
A little poem.
Poème.
I'll read a
Step
poem.
by step. Attends, dans 6 mois, ça va être chaud. Le temps qu'on puisse arriver jusqu'à New York et je parle anglais, je viens à la nage. Okay, it's about Facebook and qu'est-ce que j'en fais? How I do.
What you do.
Ouais, voilà. How I do it.
Well, you're not on Facebook, no?
Yes, but juste depuis 2 mois. It's 2 or
2
3
months?
months. 2 mois ou 3 mois.
Okay. All right.
Before, I don't want to touch that.
I remember only by email.
But when I was alone in my home.
Oh, we want to hear about when you were alone at your home. With a smile like that, I'm listening.
Ok. À l'heure qu'il est, Facebook m'honore. Mon reflet sur un black mirror. Pendant que les pigeons voyageurs se prennent les ailes dans des data centers. Sur l'écran, étrange vitrine, au doux parfum de strychnine, où les égos s'illuminent, où les âmes se chagrinent. Paraît qu'il faut vivre avec son temps, celui dans lequel on n'a pas le temps, pas sûr d'être toujours dans le temps, danse dans le free jazz de l'instant. Ici, mots sculptés dans la glaise, cueillir, petit moment de fraise, s'élancer plume comme un trapèze, juste compter jusqu'à 16. À l'heure qu'il est, poésie m'honore. Sur des écrans de ténèbres, rayons d'or. À l'heure qu'il est, poésie m'honore. Sur des écrans de ténèbres, rayons d'or.
Okay. Yeah. A day in a life during a day in a life, un jour de sa vie dans le confinement. A day in a life during confinement. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Okay. At this point, I'll lower my standards. You know, I'm saying to myself. At this point, hello, anybody out there? Okay, great. Now tell us, how is when do you resume in person your poetry scene?
Quoi?
Le, euh, euh, le commencement de la poésie, se retourne en quelle date peut-être? En juin,
Moi?
en mai? Yeah.
En Zoom?
Non, 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 au bar.
Dans ma vie?
Non, au bar.
Au bar, Babel.
Babel, excuse me, Babel.
2017? 2017. En 2017? Au
Non,
downtown.
ouais, mais ma question est le retour de Babel.
Le retour. Ah, le retour. Purée, sorry. Tu sais que je suis
Le
fatiguée.
retour, excuse-moi.
Le retour.
Le retour, le retour,
Peut-être
le
faut, je vais
retour.
apprendre la langue des signes plutôt que
Le
l'anglais.
retour, le retour.
Je croyais que tu me disais le passé, futur. Ok.
Exactement,
Ah,
le
we don't know.
retour.
Non, on sait pas. We don't know. On
Oh,
attend.
okay, good enough.
Mm.
It's a predominantly Frank. It's a predominantly French francophone scene that is very welcome to people not francophone. Like when I do it, I sing a lot there, and I know some English language poets that go there. So for your future reference in Paris, you know,
Yes, yes. Welcome, everybody.
yeah, everybody is welcome. Everybody is welcome. This I can attest to. Okay, well, thank you. And now we're going to
Thanks.
move to another Paris woman, another femme de Paris, and her name is Claire Andriani. Hello, Claire.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Claire.
How are you?
Good. And glad you're here.
Hello, Claire.
I'm happy to see you. Okay, so I have one poem. It's called The Song of the Birds or The Blue Feather. The tempest of my life is still, turning, throwing leaves everywhere. They swirl constantly in the space of my mind. It follows a blue feather, also called instinct. My brain commands me to fly, so I try until I understand where is my own limit. Darkness can stay where it is, I'm not interested. The blue color of the sky attracts me eternally, and the vague songs of the birds will one day become concrete, laughing.
Okay, all right. And the darkness can stay where it is. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Okay, now, Claire, I want to press you for poem number 2.
Yeah, wait.
Okay.
Encore,
You know,
encore.
I'm very frustrated because I can only see my face and I don't see any of you there.
Well, you're actually alone in a dark room. Yeah, we see you.
We
Yeah, but
see you.
I don't see you. I want to see you. Okay.
Click on the
So
little
this one is
view
called,
thingy, Bob.
Well, wait. Yeah, give her some advice, somebody.
yeah,
Click on the little view. There's a grid. Are you on a Macintosh or a PC or a phone?
Macintosh.
So the upper right corner, there's probably a little view. It says
Yeah.
view. Click on that and you'll have a choice to see more faces.
No, but it just doesn't work.
Gallery view en anglais. Almost.
Gallery, yeah.
Oh, okay. Wait.
So
I still
you
only
can
see myself. Yeah, I still
make
only
your
see
screen bigger, maybe. Full screen gallery view. Try.
Yeah, no,
I
I have
know
a,
it's
I have
nice
a,
to see people react.
yeah, I know, but I only see myself. It's a problem of connection that I have because I'm connected to my phone, not to another internet connection.
Okay.
Could be.
Anyway,
All right. Well,
okay.
we can see you, and why don't we just go with that satisfaction? We can see you.
Great. Okay, this one is called Night Love. Night with a K, not night with an N.
Le
A
Chevalier.
word, cavalier, right, that's right, de l'amour. A word, a kiss, a caress, his chest uncovers and his hand runs on mine, breathless. The angels above sing a song of the unreal, and the stars shine almost noisy in silence. They are dumb like my words that will not let my heart speak at the same level as my soul. The two yet must coincide and let my mind flutter like a dark night, finding his wings again, fighting his fight.
Oh, yes. Very good. Bravo. Bravo.
Thank you.
Okay. Right. And there you go. You've transgendered. You had your Dark Knight. You said his.
Yeah,
Yeah. Your Dark Knight was a he,
yeah.
masculine. That's all. Making a small joke here because that's so popular now. Anyway, that would be real popular right about now. Your third poem.
My third poem is a poem that is gonna appear on Jerry Jazz Musician.
Mm-hmm.
In the section devoted to Miles Davis music.
Okay.
And so it's called The Good Life, La Belle Vie. We make love, so what? We take hands everywhere we go, especially in the metro when we're about to leave each other. The Chinese food has been on the table for 4 days now. No one noticed it. We were too busy making love. And so what? Biting each other's arms and listening to Miles Davis again and again and again. He just shaved his beard because I asked him to, and he looks completely different, but I don't care, because my baby just cares for me, and I just care for him. With or with that mustache, I can feel his soft lips better that way, caressing my cheeks. His perfume mixes with mine perfectly, like in a good duet. He plays the trumpet, I play the cello. Drank all the champagne, ate all the food. The more we make love, the less we eat. Listening to Davis's favorite things, I'm a capricious child. We live the good life. He smokes a cigarette, resting his elbow on my back. We look at the night sky through the open window. A breeze. We look at each other as though there was no tomorrow. He's devouring me with words, with strokes, with kisses. We reach the highest notes and it goes on, doesn't end. And I rest against his chest forever.
Ooh. Whoa. Whoa. That was hot. Whoa. That was Claire. You're hot. You're hot, Claire. Okay.
Now I can see you. Oh my God. I see Mo. I see Maya. I see David. And that's all.
Well, that's a start.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
And
like
you see many of us who are around 60 and you're bringing back our youthful days. Thank you very much for that, Claire.
Or we lied to you, and there's only 3 of us on screen. Thank you. Okay. Now I guess it's my turn to contribute something. And because of the economy, because of the devastation to individual people and small business, I've decided to read a poem that I wrote about an economic crisis that happened in Paris around 2008. You know, it happened on Wall Street and then it spread to France. So this is called A Dog's Life in Paris. Le vie de chien à Paris. Voilà, c'est ça. Dog's Life in Paris. As money flows out of reach, we tread against the rush. Drowning we are to drain in waste waters, rushing underfoot beneath the lips of rusted curbsides. Bruised gemstones, we are swept in trash heaps of the skin trade, our dying dreams, and while cheering profiteers toward the gape-toothed mouth of a sewer devouring us, wrenching in human shit. We cling in anguish to that which is left of us, our stubborn, bony fingers raked apart and down the sinkhole, flushed as corporate greed is served up top. Twins of this Holocaust, disposable, faceless, nameless, our numbers are up, our algorithm spent, unwritten effigies. I would write you a promise lost, me a memory. Okay, so that's, yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry, no Notre Dame, Torifel, or baguettes in this one. Sorry about that. So I'm going to read another one because we were talking about how we were talking about our managers, you know, political and economic managers and all that. It's a lot of managers these days. A lot of managers don't think we'll deliver. You have choice, and we'll tell you what it is. Yeah. So here's a snarky piece on that called "Everybody." Everybody got a bone to pick, and everybody got a shoulder chip, and everybody be slow and quick, land sometimes in heavy shit. Shattered windows, broken doors, everybody knows the score. Everybody got a tale to tell, everybody got a private hell. Most of us make prison cells, some of us are soul to sell. One time kind and one time mean. Nobody get out of here clean. Everybody got a seed to sow, and everybody got a need to know, and everybody need a place to go. Some just gotta be the show. Mad dogs barking at a rolling stone. Everybody hit and miss, everybody on the script, everybody off the chart. Speak the language of the heart. Everybody poem your truth. Dare be doobie you. Everybody on a lark, make your mark. Everybody take a stand. You're coming in and going out. Life's a bitch. It's all about making art and all that jazz, baby. Everybody good and had. Everybody swings joy to sad. In any war on any day, anybody throw it away. Dirty saints, bloody angels, what the Bible, the banker, your mama say. Everybody win and lose, everybody pay the dues, everybody know the blues. Let's get on it. It's getting late. Fools rush in, some hesitate. Life is short, so am I. Everybody, rich and poor, feel the pain of something lost. Follow fools making war. Some among us, always boss. Some among us hate and fear. Later, hater, I'm out of here. Everybody step out of line. One step forward, one behind. All caught up in push and shove. Everybody chasing love. Don't ask me what to believe. I'm holding up the bar and I haven't had a drink. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to be satisfied with just reading these two poems that I've just done. And so there we have it. We wrapped up uh, um, the first round of this. So let's take a break for a few minutes and chat to one another. And we'll come back on and invite everybody to read two pieces when we come back on. Like we did in the first round, by asking first time participant to Angora, Steve Bloom, to open up the second round with his two choices.
Well, thank you, Mo. And it's been very interesting listening to everybody on the first round. As I said, this first poem, Laura inspired me to go and pull it out of my files. It's called Photograph. Everything in the picture is white. Well, almost everything. Ceiling with glowing fluorescent fixtures, walls, even the floor. The clock face is white too, with a white plastic case. Only numbers and hands disrupt the pattern. Must, I guess, be able to tell when the appointed time arrives. The frame is white too on the window that allows witnesses in the room next door to see what takes place when the appointed time arrives. The main contrast is the chair itself. It is, you can tell right away, a very special chair, the only one of its kind at the Greenville Correctional Facility in Jarrett, Virginia. An aged oak color with dark leather straps, both of which are more likely than the ceiling and walls to match the color of the prisoner fastened there until definitively corrected. The color of the human hand that, when the appointed time arrived on so many occasions, threw the switch, delivering thereby the requisite correctional jolt, is not public information. But you don't really have to see it. Just remember, everything in this picture is white. Well, almost everything.
Okay. Well taken. Well taken. Yes.
And
All right.
I'll close with a lighter one.
Okay.
Credo. I believe that if the Christ child were born again today, you would be in for a surprise, because this time she is coming back as the daughter of God. And when she grows up, she won't be going in for all that walking on water and show off macho miracle stuff her half brother got involved with. No, she will simply sit there quietly and write poetry. And when she sends her word to you, you will read her verse and reply with a brief but polite letter. Dear Miss Christ, thank you for your submission. However, we believe that your manuscript is unsuited to the needs of our magazine at the present time.
Yeah, go with that. Go with that, Steve. All right. Wow. Okay. Great. So let's see. Who did follow Steve last time? Was that you, Bill? Yes.
Yeah, that was me.
So let's return to the judge, Bill Strangmeyer.
Okay, this is called Wind, Wind, Blow, Wind. I remember how I felt, silly bastard that I was. That sleepy, dusty Jersey day, the 3rd of June, with a girlfriend way too smart in a case of Who Am I, that would follow me down all the years it's taken me to die. Well, the street was real suburban and the love was new and fine. I thought I shone as much as her, the way we'd walk and pose. Her hair was blonde and mine was drab, an army khaki pink. But to my heart, the rage had come. My eyes bled red blue flames. That sleepy way of walking Europeans cannot learn was all the comfort I could pull from dry, hot summer air. And if I'd known how long I'd last, I swear I'd have pulled the plug on all that sort of fear I had from never drinking blood. Oh, summer dear, oh love of loss, why did you cheat me so? I gave you all the hope I had to win the final round, but now the only dainty thought I have cannot be said. Remember this, remember that, but fight the bastards off. They'll give you Marlon Brando eyes and make you write a check. And then I walked across the bridge, although I hated town. Some guy was selling horoscopes of London falling down. Okay,
Here we go.
Premonition of redress. Anticipation full of trepidation, this will not be a lie. Every lantern glowing, every flame as if one's life were real, but children's lives are real. The catch of breath and the masquerade, unmasking sure to come. Don't hurt me, please, and other cliches come trippingly to tongue. So rarely do these understandings prove to be the truth. So rarely can you call on faithful fate to save your bet. And even if it snows, the day will dawn and the fire's banked will light up the evident room. We'll need to straighten up. We'll need to tell a tale. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Bill. Thank you. All right. Okay. Yeah. All right. So let's see. Now, after Bill came Dharma Dave. We go to the other end of the U.S. continent.
All right.
Dharma Dave. Calling on you, Dharma.
I'm ready. New health plan work poem. Insurance reprogramming. Well-groomed female sales representatives with starched pink collars. Carbon copy claims. We're talking about your sickness. Hemmed in by the 1-800 number, she talks so fast and locks me in a sweat box to do calisthenics until I get my ID card. I will prefer the provider of Concord and the religion of booze. Slideshows on how to dial the phone. Pay $5. In essence, yes. Technically, no. Socialized medicine? Not in America, bub. Why work in this gray office, the concrete blockhouse? Because these are the these are the mean times. And I need the money. Sorry, guys. No psychiatric treatment. No drug abuse. Not in this day and age. Pharmacy visits are deductible, but no psychotherapy, even though you all have tunnel vision. I want to break out. Need to. And will.
Okay. All right.
Okay. So here's what I did when I broke out.
Okay.
Hi, Sierra. The lake is ice blue, and higher are the white peaks where ice giants play. The mountains gleam from far away. In the sunset on the lake, the shaggy man howls at the wind. Thanks.
Okay. All right. So you got to the high Sierras. Good. All right.
That was a
Good
close
for
one.
you. Okay. So,
And how long did that last?
Yeah. Right. Okay, great. Okay, so Kareem, come forward, Kareem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little song called Sad Days, you know it. Soon I'll write another one in English, but my English is very poor.
Okay, well, you know, my uncle was very poor and he didn't speak well either.
Okay.
In French. Sing in French.
Okay, maybe the second one in French. I will mix some French with English. Once upon a time in a land not far away, met that girl, and what she told me was so sweet. Then I believe in her. Yes, I believe in her. 'Cause she said, sad days and sad days, sad days are gone. Sad days and sad days are all gone. This morning I feel so beautiful. I don't even know why, but I just don't give a day. Just don't give a day. 'Cause she said, sad days and sad days, sad days are gone. Sad days and sad days are all gone. J'aimerais rire de tes élucubrations, pouvoir, si ce n'est sourire, au moins payer l'addition. Le feu est éteint, mais la fumée me gêne. L'odeur de ton parfum donne forme à ma peine. Sad days and sad days are gone. She said, wait for the sunshine. Baby, don't you worry. Leaving the flowers better than leaving a hurry. She said, put down your guns of doom and pain. Don't let their sun so drive you insane. They need icons. They need icons. And I need you. Only you. Only you.
Okay, yeah. Okay. And then the sad days. All right, Kareem. How about one of your poems in French, Kareem? I've read them enough times. Why don't you do one of your
Yes,
poems?
I write every morning. I write a poem or two, that I
Yes.
share on my Facebook page.
Yes.
And wait a second. Maybe I'll go to the computer
Okay.
in a few seconds.
Okay.
It's an old one, so okay. Pop, pop, pop. The last one
Okay.
is a very short one. Perdure l'espace qui depuis déjà nous sépare. Dansons encore en pensée, comme tombe l'automne. Tes rires en écho, sillons invisibles d'une félicité dont nous fûmes la cause. I'm really sorry, but I can't translate that in English.
Well, sure, but somebody could give a summary of it, like Claire. You want to give us a summary of that poem? Can hear you.
I need to hear it. I need to hear it again.
Okay, please read it again.
Slowly. Perdure l'espace qui depuis déjà nous sépare. Dansons encore en pensée, comme tombe l'automne. Tes rires en écho, sillons invisibles d'une félicité dont nous fûmes la cause.
Wow, it's beautiful, but it's impossible to translate.
Okay. So much for
it would require me an hour to actually translate this. Yeah.
Well, that's good. That's good. Okay, Kareem.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Okay, great. So let's see. Where were we after Kareem? I think now, Malcolm. Are you ready to come back in, Malcolm Cook?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I pulled this poem to give you a sense of what the scene is like for open mic poetry in Kansas City. When I was I'm just going to read this one poem. It's a little bit long. And when I started writing poetry, I brought it to open mics. I didn't feel like my poetry fit in. It was a much younger scene. So I wrote this poem to help me explore what I thought I was doing with poetry. It's called Must I Bear Some Naked Hurt? Was recently this very room when first I read my poems aloud. And when I look about tonight, I see some faces in the crowd and characters and painfulness, the slight regret, the burning doubt you each portrayed as in your turn, you took the mic and let it out. You're safe and full of bravery was offered as a guarantee. Let not your past be prophecy. Reveal what ails for all to see. Bear the sheer brutality. Place no restraint on honesty. And shall I say implicitly, elicit beaucoup sympathy. But how ought I act when in this room? Emotions fracked might go kaboom. Make eye contact, but not too soon. Don't come jacked. Don't look for poon. In short, show some tact or meet your doom, and best to leave your silver spoon at home. The rules are simple. Tap the feet, snap the finger, feel the beat. A little moan can't hurt, petite. But keep it off your Facebook feed and go outside to smoke your weed. Respect the poem as he or she enumerates the lunacy that infiltrates their sanity, stemmed from all the womb to see. And please don't shout profanity, at most say boom, but just once, you dweeb. Bring your old shit, bring your new. Tell us if you like to screw. Enumerate life's dumps on you. Fuck ex-lovers, you know who. And don't forget your parents too. Wear your hashtag in plain sight. Define yourself as left or right. Name the origins of your fright, your problems sleeping through the night. We'll listen, try to feel your plight. Neurotic, tick. Psychotic, tick. Schizophrenic, tick and tick. Erotic, nix. Exotic, blech. Such ruminations make me sick. One rapper's phone patched through PA, not a local, up from New Orleans way, an out-of-towner passing through, they say. His track no downer, just some hot backdrop to his boasting hep with rhyme, ba-bing, ba-boom, a nickel, a dime. His hop was hipped, his crotch was gripped. My scotch was sipped as clever snippets slipped from his lip, his lyrics pushed and pulled and played with time. Hey, welcome back. That was some trip. Waiting for my chance to stand, observing this painful, observing this youthful foreign land, I felt my age, doubted my hand. Would my beat come out bland? This old white man's as much allowed to stand before this room, this crowd. But must I bear some naked hurt to share my own poetic word? Hang on, another poet to be heard. That cat spat, vainglorious. He shouted his own chorus, commanding his thesaurus to implore us, not to bore us, but deliver us, delirious and bleary-eyed. We serious scriveners, let us live or sliver us. This vain mind ripped roarious, exhausted frame, no hint of shame, no main stream of consciousness. This Broadway arts bar bonkers shit, noun phrase pronounced paralysis ablaze. All I could think was this. Some other cat took a lengthy risk to tell a tale, went just like this. Beginning with a halting gait, it led us to a vast abyss, then left us standing, made us wait, leaning over this precipice whose silence magnified his hate. Excuse me, gotta take a piss. Returning from the urinal to which I'd snuck to take a leak, I heard a snatch of chanting, voices swelling to a peak. They called out, Malcolm, Malcolm Cook, come take the mic, your turn to speak. On stage, alone, with none but me to blame, I'm nervous, yet intrepid just the same. I hold my papers, folded, crumpled, folded papers, crumpled papers, folded, crumpled. Breathe, look, wait, breathe. Unfold the papers and mouth the words, sound the sounds, song the song, Steady, slower, maybe faster. My voice, is it cracking? Can it be heard? The crowd, is it yakking? This is absurd. Crumpled papers, folded, crumpled. Breathe, look, wait, breathe. The room fell still, the bar as well, I swear. The low tones of my low voice filled the air. I felt a thrill and waded deeper in and spoke of landmarks, urges, forces, sin. With half-told truths and one whopping lie, along some river road, did I transport your naked barroom eye to my fragile world, my northern sky? Did I command this room and draw you in? Did you smell the bacon grease? Taste the salty ocean breeze? Hear Joni Mitchell's harmonies? Strain to hear the sparrow's fleeting song? Did you taste the berries sweet? Tap your toes to the horseman's beat? Feel the force of nature speak? Wonder how the stones stay put so long? Did you try to soothe the baby's cries? Rub sharp dust from waking eyes? To the chicken's plight, perhaps sympathize? At the red road's edge, know something's very wrong? Did you draw the water from my well? Did I even cast the slightest spell, intone a vision that just might inspire you to check your fright, provide us all a brief respite, a moment from escape from our shared hell?
Ooh. Okay, yeah. Look, that's so accurate. You know
Yes.
that.
Great.
I hope you caught some part of it. I know you must have. The feelings must be universal.
Yes. Yes.
Nobody describes it the way you do, Malcolm.
Well, they're my particular take on it, and I did take some risk as this old white man in front of that young audience, but I've gotten a lot of rise from it since. Thanks,
Good,
Dave.
yeah. And not even thinking that you were somehow a foreign because of what white man or whatever. The point is, I can think of myself and imagine a lot of other people when they go to a reading and all of a sudden there is the what is it, the pressure and the anxiety about making good. Yeah, like you were saying, should I read fast? Should I read slow? Should I bring my voice down and make it low? What should I do? What should I do? I want everybody. I want you. Yeah, and and then when it's over, thank you very much. Next.
Yeah, right.
That's why.
I went to a reading in Paris where the guy before me got up and apologized for being 30 years old.
Oh, fuck. Right.
Man,
I think the only answer is you should just be yourself.
No.
Because if that doesn't go over, what good is it to pretend to be somebody else? So you're not going to please everybody. You'll find
Right.
out who you please if you are who you are.
But
Right.
stage fright does happen as you get up there and all of a sudden, you're on. It's showtime. You're on.
Yeah.
I think you might gather it's not so much a issue with me of stage fright. I mean, there's a little bit of nervousness for sure, but it's connecting. And
Mhm.
can I? And do I dare? Should I try? Is it worth it? To me, to you, am I wasting your time? Is it falling on dead ears? Do my metaphors even connect with your sense of the world? Am I trying to do the same thing with poetry as you want to be in this room about? Those are sort of the questions that were stirred that I was working out with this poem. I think you'll find that I don't have much trouble with stage fright.
Good. And you know,
Anyway, thanks a lot, guys.
And yourself, Malcolm, wondering if you relate to a crowd. To tell you the truth, somebody walking up to the stage, 20 years old, 22 years old, is just as nervous about impressing people as someone 20 years older. Just as nervous. There's something unique about that going up, and all of a sudden realizing I'm one among many, and here I try. So that's cool. That's real cool. Okay, thank you, Malcolm. Like that. Now I want to move over across the water again, and come back to Paris, and bring back on Jack Cooper. Jack.
Oh, thank you, Mo. Thank you, Malcolm, for that wonderful lead-in. Because now I'm going to bare my heart. Yeah, I'm kind of nervous. So, be kind, be kind. I'd like to read a poem called Adagio for No Strings.
Okay.
And I should say that that there's a reference to both of my children in this poem, my daughter Brita and my son Lucian. So if that otherwise seems obscure, that's the reason why. Adagio for no strings. Rain without, tears within, thrombonic sobs late this afternoon, listening to Beethoven, string quartets, 1 through 3, specifically, as thought of Brita turned to text, following message to Lucian, couched in matter of fact, sob, hollowed, empties throbbings of a drum. In this case, mine, my instant, insistent, misery circumferent, not loud, still booming from the heart. If exist key, bass clef, cleft must dissever arterial perseveration, pulse liberate, impulse repulsion, the letting of vain, vanity, the ultimate means and final end of time. Okay. And then I thought I would read this very, very brief poem. At a time, love is what can't be measured or got back in return, nor be told by the face it wears.
Okay. Brief poems, read again. We always ask a second time on a brief poem.
Okay. At a time, love is what can't be measured or got back in return, nor be told by the face it wears.
Okay. Okay. All right. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you, Jack.
Yeah,
Now,
thank
I'm
you.
going. Yeah.
Thank you all.
Did we get to you, Dharma, in the second round? Dharma Dave, have we done you yet? We did already. Okay, so now let's move on now. Let's see. We want to go to Laura, and then we want to go to Claire. Laura.
Okay. So these two pieces are from an excerpt from my show called Fierce Barefoot Love, A Geography of My Life. And this is in Austria. So I was a subsistence farmer in Austria in a very small town. And this is what it was like. This is called The Boy. Near the forest, on the meadow, in the sun, stands the boy, long legs at ease, looking up at something fluttering, gentle-eyed and curious as he follows the papery movement, cream-colored with a dark edge, watching and wondering, mouth open, pulse steady and slow, dreaming and being, sweet-breathed and innocent, feet content to stand still, as long as allowed, not eager to know, near the forest, on the meadow, in the sun.
Nicely read, Laura, nicely delivered. From memory, I could tell. Well
Thank
done.
you. Thank you. I do a number of mine, when I'm standing in a room with people on the stage. I'm not as used to sitting in the Zoom box doing it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Here's the second one is called The Old Man. So when we moved there, a lot of omas and opas, yes, the grand-mère et grand-père, they scythed. I don't know the word for scythe in French, Mo.
You mean, I think you're trying to say, yeah, they cut with the cut the wheat, the grain with the blade, the
Yes.
curved blade.
Fauché.
Fauché. Okay. So the old man. So this is, and I mean people who were 84 years old. What is that? I always forget how to do it in French. The Genevans do it the other way.
84.
Okay, thank you. Anyway, so people my age still know how to scythe there, but the younger generation does not and has no interest. But it's very beautiful to watch. So this is a story. The old man stands at the top of the steep rise, plants his feet apart, bare toes pressing the soil, and leans forward, gripping the wooden handles, balancing, eyes on the green waves below. He swings the old scythe to his right, winding up his back muscles, then shoulders pivoting left with strength and speed. The sharp blade sings as it glides. Swish. Grass stems fall, little step forward. Swish. Flower heads drop, little step. Swish. Swath after swath, petals soon wilt, swing after swing. I have to do it, he thinks. My sons are gone, daughters too. They don't want this place. No one wants it. Don't want trees and forests, don't want meadows and cows. I gotta keep mowing, or the wilderness takes it. Scything, scything, till I fall like the grass below me, till I fall.
Ooh. Okay. All right. Yeah.
I
That
know
was really
what to
good.
do with all those Republican golfers in the United States.
Night, everybody. I'm fading fast. See you
Bye,
next
Bill.
time.
Okay, Bill. Thanks,
Bye.
Bill. See you. Okay. Wow. I was imagining that painting, that famous painting, painted by, I can't remember, showing a blonde boy in the furrows cutting wheat under a broad sky. Anybody recall? I don't know if it was Van Gogh or one of the 19th century.
I
Yeah,
have a vague memory of that.
yeah. Well, it was, yeah, I think the first one was Millet. And Van Gogh copied that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that stood out. Yeah, great. Okay, so let's see. Now we're gonna have an opportunity to listen to Claire. Hello, Claire.
Hi, everyone, again.
Hi again, everyone.
I'm really happy that I saw some of you reading, which really changed for me. So that was great. I have a poem that is in French. So I hope that the two French people here will get it. It's full of contradictions. So I'm going to try and summarize it for you in a few words. So it's about love, one's dedication to love, and the wisdom that you can find in passion, which can sound a bit contradictory, but there's a wisdom in passion. And it's a praise of passionate love and its inevitable death. So there's both the mourning for passionate love and the mourning of one's freedom and independence. So it's really full of contradictions and images to try and depict that. I hope I was clear.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. It's a long poem, Mo, so maybe I'll just do one. You'll tell me?
Well, is it a complete poem? I mean, you'll have a complete poem, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, then go. Please go.
Okay. Passion des âmes sages. Son grand front m'éblouit à chaque fois il me parle, lorsque son visage d'ange blanchit sous les lumières sauvages de la nuit. Les lampadaires lui donnent un air de lumière interdite. Cette lumière au fond de l'âme qui berce les passions les plus douces. Mes mains sont froides et elles me poussent à voir la jeunesse de ce front éclairé par la lueur du matin, d'une âme fraîche et féconde. La pluie s'en mêle et toute froide je m'en vais, sentant la chaleur de la passion s'envoler comme un oiseau sauvage dont je suis privée. Oh, l'orage d'une belle saison s'en va enfin et me laisse seule, obscure, des souvenirs presque interdits, des lueurs du réel qui rient et me montrent des images trop souvent parties, des images qui parlent une musique que je n'ai point entendue dans mon âme sage qui sourit à la lueur d'un amour sauvage. Pris par le tourbillon infernal de la nuit qui, sans me le dire, me l'enlève aussitôt qu'il luit. Cet amour sauvage m'a presque détruite et je rêve à des âges où la passion ne serait interdite, où les âmes sages seraient maudites. Car oh, comme j'aime cette douleur, elle est plus grande que tout homme et me transperce de ces images d'un passé maudit qui rit, oh oui, ces images d'un passé qui rit, et me soutiennent dans mes mirages, virages inédits, où j'ai prié pour que l'orage cesse dans mon âme secouée par la passion d'un amour interdit. Mais comme j'aime cette douleur, et la lueur de son front sage qui se reflète sur mon lit, et que je sens en moi grandir comme un ver qui luit. Il se dérobe à moi dans mes pensées. Nos mains se rencontrent, un regard et je m'évanouis, dans l'idée d'un malheureux songe qui ne laisse comme trace que des ennuis. Retiens-moi, amour sauvage, et ris, et ris. Je me ferai toujours plus belle pour toi, toujours plus sage, dans la passion de notre amour maudit. Garde tes grands yeux pour la sérénade d'une nuit et où tout sera fini. Sérénité inattendue, je salue ton ouvrage et hébété comme une huluberlue, m'endors en ton âme sage. L'amour sage dans l'amour perdu. Je suis sereine dans la mort d'une passion certaine. Seule et sereine, je parcours le chemin des souvenirs perdus et m'en vais, âme sage, dans mon ivresse, éternité. Toute mort tient en moi des pâleurs inattendues qui, immobiles, se mouvent dans une pâle obscurité, par l'amour d'une passion sereine, par l'amour d'une passion mortelle qui sur d'elle s'en va, la nuit, et rit, et rit. Mes mains sont froides comme la rosée du matin, et dans mon escapade, je sais qu'il faut loin s'en aller, tout près, pour sauver la part d'âme qui en moi luit, qui luit, et loin de toi qui rit, qui rit. Ô passion sauvage, passion si sage, tu me tourmentes dans mon calme provoqué, mais la passion, la rage d'un amour manqué ne peut m'atteindre car elle est féconde, la nuit, mon ami, liberté. Pourtant, dans ce calme provoqué, nos souvenirs bien sages s'en vont comme des mensonges estomaqués. Et quand la fin de la nuit vient, l'orage nuptial de tes passions sauvages s'en va et rit, et rit. It's very, very long.
No, it's not too long, not at all. No.
Welcome to the Babel Café. Quand on reprend, Claire, tu viens.
Yeah, we have to get Claire. We have to get Claire and Jack and Bill Strangmeyer up to Babel, and then we have to get the Babel crowd over to Angora again.
Angora.
Yeah, yeah, that'd be cool. Okay, Claire, c'est bien, très bien. Et élégante aussi, hein?
Ouais.
Très élégante. Voilà, les phrases. Et la nature de contradictoire, c'est voilà, c'est la vie, hein? Enfin, c'est la vie. OK, tu peux commencer encore avec un deuxième poème pour nous.
Oh yeah?
Claire.
Okay, great.
Oh yeah.
I have a short one called Purgatory.
Oh.
Purgatoire. It's a vision. I was watching people pass by from my window, and it was a very dark day, and it really made me feel like we were in the purgatory. We were not in the real life. We were somewhere else between, fiction and reality. The purgatory. They're walking straight, absurdly, little black shadows, but towards where? In little groups or in line, they're walking assuredly to their destinations, humans in disguise, one foot after the other, like wise, domesticated creatures following their path or what they call their destinies, like atoms of a world, a body reunified, 1,000 feet under the sky.
Okay. Okay.
Very bleak, Claire. Right. Very bleak.
Very nice, Claire. Very, very nice. Very nice. Oh.
Thanks,
I've been there walking. I've seen those people.
I am one.
Likewise. Certainly.
I have.
Hey, Claire, where did you learn English?
At school.
En école, lorsque? Où? En France?
What?
En France?
Yeah, in France, and I also did a lot of trips with linguistic trips, that you take to learn the language. I went to the UK, to England. I went to the US almost every year since I was 15.
Your
And
English is very good, but I would guess you learned it. I could not tell where you learned it. I did not think en école, maybe Angleterre, peut-être. You do not watch a lot of movies, US Hollywood movies, no?
Actually, I was a great fan of some American singers, among them Ray Charles, and I was such a fan that at something like 14 years old, I would learn all the lyrics by myself and translate them because I loved him. And I also was a fan of Eminem, which, whose lyrics are very difficult to understand. And that really helped because I was doing it with pleasure. I was not just learning English. I was learning it because I loved it.
Cool. It beats assimil, huh? It's better than the technique assimil. You all remember assimil, no?
Merci du conseil.
It was the most boring way to teach language ever invented. You memorized. You didn't speak. You just memorized things. So then when people graduated the course of assimil, they couldn't speak the language. They could just remember it. It was terrible. Anyway, that's bygone days. That's bygone days.
No, I'm going to miss your closing because I have another meeting in 20 minutes. So I'm going to sign off. I appreciate hearing everybody today. Thank you.
Okay, you too, Steve.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay.
Enjoy
Bye.
your work.
Okay.
Bye, Steve.
Wow.
Claire, moi je pensais que tu étais anglaise en fait. I think you are an English girl studying French.
Merci, c'est un grand compliment pour moi.
Voilà.
She thought I was English. Yeah.
Actually, when I met Claire at Culture Rapide in Belleville, everybody knows that place, right? So when I met Claire there, we were two people in a large crowd, right? But when I heard you speak and then we conversed, I thought the same thing too. Is this an English girl with fluent French? Is this a French girl with fluent English?
Yes, I thought, Claire, I thought you were American when I first spoke to you.
Wow, I love that. I love that. I love that. I love that.
Jesus. Oh, wow. You make it impossible for me to do my part, which I'm up next. That's great. Well, I'm going to do it. Now, I'm going to dedicate based on.
Well, what about Maya?
Huh?
Maya.
Did we not hear from Maya? Did we not hear from Maya in the second round?
No.
And we want to. So I'll just shut the fuck up and invite Maya back on real promptly. Hello, Maya.
Ok.
Shut the fuck up, bro.
Moi, je disais rien parce que je savais pas comment. I don't know how to defend my beefsteak in English. Okay. Thanks everybody for me. Mo, tu me dois un coup à boire. Tu me dois un café.
Voilà.
Ok. C'est un texte, c'est un droit de réponse. Je ne sais pas si on dit droit de réponse.
The right to respond, the right to reply.
Pour Malcolm. Because I'm shy too, really, in open mic. In my beginning. And I have a poem, a text about that. It's the wage of my timidity is attached to my feet. Le poids de la timidité. On a tous des vieilles casseroles à tirer selon les chemins, selon les traversées, selon les charrettes qu'on conduit, chacun à son lot, son poids de folie, de soucis. Dans ce lot, il y a les gros et les plus petits. Il y a les lourds qui s'imposent et les légers qui trônent en catimini. Lui, il est tout léger au fond de mes souliers. Lui, c'est le poids de la timidité. Car parfois, j'ai la trouille, la tremblote, les viscères à l'envers. Mes mains dansent la maladie de Parkinson. Mes jambes tentent un Madison, mais mes pieds restent sur le sol cloués. Impossible de les soulever. C'est le poids de la timidité. Il porte aussi le « je suis désolée, pardon, 1000 excuses, je fais que passer, je suis là par hasard, j'ai vu une lumière dans le noir, mais je ne vais pas vous déranger, vous pouvez m'oublier. » C'est le poids de la timidité. Je tente bien des « même pas peur » dans ma tête, dans mon cœur, c'est ok, on fonce à 1000 à l'heure, mais le poids nous ralentit, des semelles de plomb collées au talon. Depuis Achille, rien n'a changé, c'est le talon qui vrille en parfaite humanité. À chacun son talon d'Achille, à chaque talon d'Achille son moment, son heure de gloire, sa place dans l'histoire. Parfois, le mien, coincé dans ma basket, pour le faire évoluer ou pour le dompter ou aller savoir pourquoi, je lui mets une carapace de tortue ninja. Coincé, serré dans mes baskets, il aime pas, surtout que je lui ai interdit la pizza. D'autres fois, je le masse aux huiles essentielles de pistil, de fleurs de merveille. Il en ressort défoncé, mais pas forcément désinhibé. Alors, je rêve qu'il prenne son envol, que lui poussent des ailes, juste là, dans le creux de la cheville, là où il y a la place pour une myrtille, une petite paire d'ailes. J'y croirais presque si j'avais pas la main qui tremble, les gouttes de sueur qui se rassemblent pour dans mon dos ruisseler ensemble, une source chaude que ma peau fraîche accueille, alerte rouge, le thermomètre interne se pâme et s'effeuille, frissonne, se couvre, tourne de l'œil, œil aux aguets, système en vigilance rouge, attention, que rien ne bouge, mes joues virent au rouge, mes lèvres sont sèches, en apnée dans mes poumons, c'est la dèche, dans ma gorge 1 milliard de flèches. Orteil, flex, inspire, expire, saute. Parfois, légère comme un flocon, je quitte mes semelles de plomb. Le poids de la timidité glisse au bord des joues, le temps d'un vol, d'un rêve fou. Le poids s'envole en faribole, étoile de carambole, illuminant une nuit grave et frivole, avant de retomber sur ses pieds, enchaîné, enlacé aux semelles de plomb, aux pieds qui enserrent et enlacent mon talon.
Ooh, wow. Wow. Back on the ground again. All right. Woo. Nice flight, Claire. Wow, la vola. Very nice. Okay, do you have a second piece for us?
Yes.
Yes.
It's like a story about a girl. She's attracted by her phone and her appearance switch with her.
Yeah.
C'est OK? Claire, tu valides ou quoi?
J'ai pas compris la fin. Tu peux le redire?
En fait, elle se fait aspirer par son téléphone, son apparence, sa photo de selfie prend sa place à elle.
Okay, she gets
Like
sucked in by
Instagram.
her phone.
Ouais.
Yeah, and her pictures on the phone takes her identity.
Yeah. Yes.
Laurie. Laurie is the name of the girl. Laurie 2.0 a les joues roses et la peau blanche. Laurie 2.0 a un beau décolleté et de petites hanches. Laurie 2.0 a un petit duvet sur les mollets qu'elle épile quand même, on ne le voit jamais. Elle peut suivre les conseils faciles des magazines, c'est d'ailleurs ce qui la fascine. Laurie 2.0 aurait pu avoir une vie facile. Née dans une bonne famille, elle aurait pu trouver, après des études modérées, un emploi à mi-temps et un mari inodorant, fait de convenance et de bien-pensance, qui présente bien une bonne situation, comme jarretière, un mariage de raison. Mais Laurie 2.0, à l'heure du 2.0, se mitraille de selfies, se multiconnecte à tous les réseaux sociaux, envoyant ses clichés les plus beaux à toutes les adresses, à tous les numéros. Un soir d'auto-shooting, d'auto-idolâtrie, alors qu'elle en est à son 54e selfie, elle aperçoit derrière elle, sur l'écran, une silhouette. 55e, 56e, derrière elle, sur l'écran, un corps se dessine plus net. 58e, 59e, elle ne se regarde plus posée, elle scrute ce qui se cache derrière elle quand elle flash. 60, 63, 67e selfie, derrière elle, sur l'écran, sa propre image, son apparence devient réelle, comme un fantôme, ambiance Walking Dead. Dans sa chambre, elle virevolte. Rapidement, son apparence est plus que réelle. Elle est dans sa chambre maintenant. Elle lui fait face gravement. Le regard de l'apparence a soif de vie, bien plus que la pauvre Laurie. Alors, Laurie 2.0 s'allonge sur le dos. Et croyez-le ou pas, ce qui se passe ce soir-là, mais comme dans un brouillard, l'apparence floute les contours du soir et dans un profond regard aspire cette âme hagard, bien plus fort qu'un mange-mort à Poudlard. L'apparence est tout, elle prend tout, tout ce qui l'a fait naître, tout ce qui l'a fait grandir, tout ce qui l'a fait vivre. Face à elle, Laurie 2.0 est sans poids, sans densité, sans pensée pour repousser l'apparence et ses méfaits lorsqu'elle est trop glorifiée, magnifiée. Laurie 2.0 se laisse aller et l'apparence absorbe tout, laissant Laurie de côté sur l'écran. Elle prend l'apparence sur cette vie, elle prend le dessus sur cette vie, l'apparence prend les dessus sur cette vie, elle transforme Laurie en zombie. L'apparence, elle, est dans la chambre. L'apparence, elle se mitraille de selfie et de selfie et de selfie. Et Laurie 2.0, elle a changé de côté. Elle est sur l'écran, de l'autre côté, une âme creuse, dans un corps mal placé. Elle a trouvé sa place dans la vie, un être effacé et une apparence glorifiée. Mais il n'y a aucun souci. Chacun joue son rôle. Tout est under control. À l'heure du 2.0, Laurie a perdu sa peau. Son âme est en lambeaux. Son apparence est le drapeau d'un pays au virtuel couteau qui lacère par derrière, dans le dos, les âmes qui ne sauvent pas leur peau, comme Laurie 2.0, les âmes qui ne sauvent pas leur peau, comme Laurie 2.0.
Wow. Yeah.
Maya, you make me want to study French again. Je suis sûr qu'il y a une histoire très bien, très belle, très jolie, mais je ne comprends pas plus. Next time.
Yes. Perhaps in the future I can translate that in English.
Oh.
I can try.
Oh,
Oh, thanks. Thanks. It's easier for me.
Yeah. Beautiful. That was quite directedly ironic in French. That was good. That was good. Poor Laurie.
yes,
Poor
poor
people. Yeah.
Pauvre Laurie.
Pauvre Laurie, ouais, pauvre Laurie.
Yeah, Overloading.
Mm.
Okay, now I think we've got everybody, and we have come to the last reader of this Acts 2. Now, what I'm doing is I've been I'm going to take a tip as other people brought up poems because they were inspired by someone who read before them, right? Remember, Steve Bloom read a poem inspired by somebody, and Malcolm and Maya. So I'm going to do one on vulnerability too, because was that my naked? It was Claire, my naked heart, was it? Who said they're naked? All right. So here's a poem I wrote a long time ago, and here's the thing. I had my own sort of stage fright, as they call it, which is a healthy nervous. That's a healthy nervous. Uh, but what would happen was I invited someone I cared very much for, and she always had reasons. We were in our middle 20s, always had reasons not to come to the poetry reading because she was divided over hanging out with bohemians and then hanging out with fellow registered nurses in her hospital. See, so we like that was like cocktails and cutie cutie, and then hanging out with me. She was going, well, should I really smoke this? Yeah. Should I really go home late? Yeah. So okay, so she finally said she would come, and here's what happened. So I call this poem cameo or dried cum between my legs. Okay, I'm reading poems before a crowd. I'm in earnest and they're interested. Skip the pretensions, get to how do you do. You walk in as you search for a seat, late as usual. I stumble all over myself. Quick, somebody, get the hook. Last night I wrote to you, rehearsed like Cyrano, down 6 cups of coffee and 2 packs of cigarettes, and still couldn't get it down. My words were like well rounded and gentle. For a while they glided, they spoke in a whisper, they grazed your cheeks, they burst on your lips. It was alchemy, and then gone. I almost had it, the perfect love poem. I sleep alone, dried cum between my legs, resting with the words and you. I almost had it until it comes. You are on the tip of my tongue. So there you go. There's my vulnerability. And she came late and asked me so many questions about what that poem meant that I wondered if I was with the right person.
I
And
felt
then,
it, Mo.
and then I fell in love with her duly, for sure. Okay, now, Dharma Dave said, read one out of season. You know,
Yeah, I did
yeah.
read one out of
So
season.
Dharma did. He read a poem that was not about spring or summer. So I'm going to read a poem about plein d'hiver, deep winter, deep winter. Entre le lac, how do you say, Lake Erie, le lac Erie, en trajet à la ville de Pittsburgh. Okay, so this happens between Lake Erie and my backyard in Pittsburgh, and it's called November, Western Pennsylvania. So I'll read out of order too, because now we're finally out of that goddamn winter. Uh, okay, so here we go. When the Great Lake recedes into itself, gels to frigid mass, her elements condense, ice to inertia, by crystalline spearheads launched from the throat of Arctic. They scour the loping white caps of Erie and lance the halls of nomad steamers. When polar furies gallop this glazed plain, how their venomous gales, flocks flee with locust horde, molt snared and stiff barbed pines, while great schools of trout solipsists submerge in liquid marble solitudes. Sirens rise from cavernous chambers, from the aqua black pits in the womb of her. 100 miles due south, a lapse in time descends upon the land, unnoticed by city and industry dwellers, river crawling through valley, stream treading mud banks, pond convoluting motionless spirals, squirrel, rabbit, muting gray, deer herd thins, and brittle leaves snap like match heads, movements measured in mortal ticks. All the dogs are pensive, insatiable shadow, its glove upon all. Within my corrugated urban fabric maze, a speck of yard, my countryside, dormant patch of wind-scathed crest, suspended slumber, limbo, lull. Between trumpet blast of autumn shock and fluted shrill of winter, soulful peal of cello chords when poplar bows the breeze. Each raw note, one raw nerve, unleashed nature, her naked self, tree of bone, rock of muscle, hills of twisted spine.
Yeah, baby.
Okay. That's how it looked that day where I came
Love
from.
it.
Yeah.
When were you in
Okay.
Pittsburgh, Mo?
Huh?
When were you in Pittsburgh?
When I was born, ask my mother. I
Really
was in
enjoyed it.
Pittsburgh.
I've got to run. Really enjoyed it.
See you
Love the
later, Laura.
literature.
Great to see you.
Good
Great
to
to
see all
see
of
you,
See
you.
Laura.
ya.
Come back
Au
next
revoir.
week. Okay, bye for
Bonne
now.
nuit.
Uh,
Bonne nuit.
Bye bye. All right.
It's
So
a
yeah,
fab.
I was.
What a great session tonight, everybody.
What a great session tonight. I tell you what. Yeah. And you see, speaking in French to those of us who are not fluent, or maybe some of us who know nothing in French, it's not important because what we want is a passionate reader like you did, Maya, and like Claire does when she reads in either English or French, so that we can enjoy the nuance and the resonance and the syncopation, the feeling of the language. So
We'll
that's
take that
that's
anytime.
yeah, because before I came to symphony music, you know, before I came to symphony music, I was turned on by the sound of a cello. So I didn't have to know the symphony orchestra. I just needed to get one attractive introduction, and it led me into the whole orchestral sound. And that's the same way with listening to a foreign language. You get an introduction to the feeling and the nuance of it. And it'll send Malcolm back to French class. Tell you what.